Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. U.S. Air Force pilots are among the most well-trained in the world. This is partially due to the versatility built into the training process. For instance, A-10 Thunderbolts are often tasked with operating from austere locations. These landing strips can be narrow, rough, or, in some cases, non-existent. In order to ensure the pilots are confident enough for these landing scenarios, A-10s will often be sent to land on highways. These exercises expose the crews to obstructions, like power lines and trees, amongst other hindrances they might encounter when performing a real austere landing in the field. Of course, this process is highly controlled, with the Air Force taking the time to remove stop signs and other potential barriers. Still, these austere landing drills are integral to getting pilots more comfortable landing their aircraft in more hazardous areas. In order to ensure the safety of pilots, ground crews, and civilians, highway landings involve the participation of multiple groups. Men on the ground will scout out locations where the A-10s will have at least the minimum amount of road required to come to a safe stop. They will closely coordinate with the pilot, who will typically do several passes to evaluate the area before touching down. Even then, the pilot may choose to merely perform a touch and go until they find the right speed and touchdown location to come to a safe stop. After landing successfully, pilots are tasked with turning their planes around and taking back off, a process that can be just as difficult and dangerous if not done properly. The A-10 Thunderbolt II is the perfect plane for austere landings. Designed as a subsonic attack aircraft, the Thunderbolt is specifically intended to provide close air support for ground troops. Again, such a mission often necessitates that the A-10 operate from less than desirable air bases. Luckily, the aircraft's two TF-34 GE-100 engines give it loads of thrust, allowing it to take off in very short distances. Its 53-foot wingspan and increased maneuverability at low speeds also gives the A-10 a lot more landing versatility than other attack aircraft. First introduced in the late 1970s, Thunderbolts saw extensive action during the First Gulf War, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Over the years, they gained the nickname Warthog for its aggressive look. The A-10 remains the go-to aircraft when a mission location is far from a well-paved runway. Though operation from dirt airstrips remains both a reality and, in many cases, a necessity, that doesn't mean that ground crews can't take steps to make these austere air bases safer. One of the most common safety precautions taken involves spraying down the dirt or sand airstrip with water. This keeps dust and other particles from flying during the landing process. Not only does dust drastically reduce visibility for extended periods of time, but it can also get into sensitive systems both on the plane itself and in surrounding equipment and vehicles. In many cases, these airstrips are meant to act as forward operating bases. This means they need to be able to support a wide range of operations, vehicles, and aircraft. With the right amount of skill and preparation, even some of the Air Force's largest cargo aircraft can pull off austere landings. One great example is the Lockheed C-130 Hercules. With its 100-foot fuselage and 42,000-pound capacity, the C-130 doesn't seem like a likely candidate for dirt airstrip landings. However, that is far from the case. In fact, properly loaded, the C-130 is capable of extremely short takeoffs and landings, even in less than desirable conditions. Having a plane this large be able to access these rough forward operating bases is crucial to the success of many missions. As it allows for thousands of pounds of vehicles, troops, and equipment to be delivered to frontline areas quickly and effectively. As impressive as the C-130's austere landings are, it isn't the only large aircraft to safely operate from improvised airstrips. In fact, the C-17 Globemaster, which is near twice the size of the Hercules, has been known to take off and land from some extremely hazardous areas. According to its specifications, it can operate with just 3,500 feet of space, even when the surface is comprised of sand, dirt, or ice. That said, it takes a lot of coordination between pilots and ground personnel to bring a fully loaded 585,000-pound C-17 to a safe stop. Even though its powerful thrust reversers contribute to this process, special AMLO teams painstakingly evaluate the landing surface ahead of time.
At the front, cerise or pink 1,000 feet down, and then a set of cerise panels.
Do you think it's good?
AMLO stands for Air Mobility Liaison Officer.
I'm gonna do it.
These men and women essentially act as air traffic control towers when no such facility exists. This includes checking the airstrip, monitoring wind speed and weather conditions, and communicating valuable information to pilots so that they can land safely.
230 at Niner.
230 at Niner.
Even with the best of preparations, operating from a dirt landing strip can sometimes require quick thinking and quick moves on behalf of ground crews. These men and women need to make sure that there are no obstructions or dangerous areas in the landing aircraft's path. They also need to be able to spot the plane as it comes in, as there is no tower to provide up-to-the-second information to pilots in low visibility conditions. It's not uncommon for both military and non-military vehicles to be used in this process. Dirt bikes, for instance, allow crew members to get from one side of the airstrip to another in seconds, putting them in the best possible position to scout for incoming aircraft. If something were to go wrong, they could also get to the plane much faster. Rarely is the landing and takeoff of large aircraft given more attention than during training exercises like the Mobility Guardian event. This is where various air forces train together, practicing drills related to aeromedical evacuation, mobility support, air refueling, and more. During this exercise, the aircraft will taxi together, moving almost tail to nose in a long line around the taxiways. This is affectionately known as an elephant walk, a term that dates back to World War II, when large bombers would take off in quick succession to go on missions deep into enemy territory. Over the years, militaries worldwide have learned to heavily prioritize the movement of troops and equipment in and out of hostile areas. The ability of these large planes to operate from facilities offering the bare minimum runway conditions is a testament to the skill of pilots, ground crews, and engineers everywhere. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.